Thank you so much for talking to us today. From your perspective and your region, what are the current challenges in conflict resolution and peace building, would you say?
Thank you for having me. In my opinion, one of the biggest challenges to peace building and conflict resolution is that we are still addressing the symptoms and not the root causes. We talk about conflict still just as in the concept of armed actors, but we need to realize that it is embedded into displacement, structural injustice, and inequality. I still think that we talk about peace from a perspective of absence of war. Rather, we should be talking about positive peace where everyone has equal access to resources and opportunities all the time, no matter where they are. We are still lagging behind it. Apart from it, we also see that there are a lot of marginalized vulnerable groups that are still not included into the peace building processes. For example, more than 70% of the displaced population are women and children. And in all of their diversities, we need to understand that this is not a homogeneous group. We have women who are minorities, pregnant women, women with disabilities. For example, someone who is neurodivergent, someone who is visually impaired. Everyone has a different need, different challenge. And when these peace frameworks are formulated, we somehow fail to acknowledge their unique needs, challenges, and that's why when the frameworks are developed and implemented, they are not addressed. And this, apart from these challenges, I also see, considering the world is in climate emergency, we again fail to understand that climate is actually increasing our vulnerabilities. For example, in 2022, Pakistan was hit by severe floods, displacing more than 33 million people. Young people, they lost their homes, their schools. Pregnant women, they had no facilities for health. Young girls who were menstruating, they had nowhere to go. They were under the open sky. And we fail to understand that not just it increases the risk of violence due to displacement, lack of livelihoods, but also the risk to their dignity and safety. So maybe rather than going towards the perspective of security, we should look a little behind and go towards safety. These are some of the challenges, probably not the exhaustive list, but a few that I could like to share.
Thanks. Yeah, it's a very complex picture. And if you draw a look to the future, how do you see this going forward? Will it be getting better or worse?
I'm quite hopeful, but I believe that the future should be, and I really hope it is, intersectional and preventative. A lot of budget or financing goes towards peace building efforts after the conflict is there or the harm has already happened. But maybe we just start looking again back and make it a preventative effort so that all those communities who are there, they have the capacity to not let them or the harm or the casualties happen. Apart from it, the future should be intersectional in a manner that there should be inclusion and integration of climate resilience, digital safety, mental health, and care work, because all of these marginalizations and diverse identities that are based on our geographies, our beliefs, our faith, they should be included. And most importantly, financing for young people in terms of funding local actors, local peace builders, so that they can address and find creative, innovative solutions. If it is on the lines of intersectionality, preventative thoughts, I am quite hopeful that we will be achieving the goal that we are all talking about today.
You already mentioned the local element in this and the local actors, but if you think globally also, what do you think in the international community, what actors are needed who could help bring about this change?
Whenever I am into the spaces of peace building, it's most of the time peace builders, development practitioners, or maybe the governments who are there to fund. We need to have coalitions of unlikely actors or untraditional actors, for example, students, scientists, teachers over there. We need to understand peace is not something that should be brought by if you're in a government or sitting in UN, that too in a Security Council, but everyone is a contributor over there. So maybe we need to have a coalition of each and every non-traditional actor. Though I'm calling them non-traditional, but each one of them has an equal stake, in my opinion. Apart from it, donor and multilateral bodies need to look into from a perspective of not just funding reports, but funding healing, listening, repairing, and devising mechanisms that are based on flexible funding models, because it's not just a project of peace building, oh, there is peace agreement happening. These are the lives of people who are going through a conflict, and the time we are going into the implementation, all of those actors, kids who are there, women, their lives are already lost. So I think there is a lot good happening, but maybe if we look around it and see what are the loopholes, probably we can go behind with the current resources that we already have in mind. We mostly talk about financing in a manner that, oh, there are funding cuts, but in my opinion, there are a lot of funds available in the world. There's a lot of money into the world. There are corporates happening, but then we only bring corporates when there is partnership happening. Can corporates not come in without private partnership? But because peace building is important for them as well. So maybe financing in a manner that it is on the needs of the local communities, and it also addresses the root causes and not just the symptoms.
Thank you so much for all the wealth of ideas and concrete points you have been sharing. And thank you and all the best for your important work.
Thank you so much, Stephanie.